Lynette with Charm Grammy Crochet. How is everybody doing on this football Sunday? Yep, it's football Sunday. The Browns play at 4:30. It is before then. Because we will be in the camper probably at that time to watch the game. But right now we've been sitting outside. I took my fake nails off because I've broken so many. So I need to like start over. And I don't have any tips. Not that that's what this channel is about, but that's what I've been doing. We went to the store this morning to get ready for the game. And now we've been sitting outside and I'm going to start to crochet. And I thought I'll do a really quick catch-up video for you for this Sunday early afternoon. First of all, I want to welcome any new subscribers. Thanks for stopping by. If you've been around for a while, thanks for coming back again and again. I really appreciate it. Today, we're going to talk mostly crochet, but I do want to tell you, yesterday we went back to that farm that we went to. If you watched the last video, the travel video about what we've been doing since we've been here in South Carolina, we went to, it's called L.W. Paul Living History Farm, and we went back there yesterday morning because they were making the sugarcane stalks into actual sugarcane syrup, cane syrup, and I wanted to try it. So they didn't have any when we were there because it was all sold out, which is one of the reasons they were making more, and they said they would have it this weekend. So come back and see what they were doing. So we did. Pretty much we saw the same things that we saw last time. Found out that what we thought was the cotton, or was the tobacco in the field, was cotton. And they're still growing it. I don't know why. So they'd have something growing, I guess. But we did find on the ground a cotton ball. This has been picked. When you pick cotton, there's prickers in there. But this is just a cotton ball. And there's seeds in it. The seeds grow in the cotton ball. So this is all 100% unprocessed. But there's like a little seed in there. Can you see that? There's several seeds in this little cotton ball, which I did not, excuse me, I never knew that's how cotton grew. So I thought that was pretty interesting, and I thought I would pass that along. I don't know if you plant, you take out like this and you plant this, or if you have to get all this fuzzy stuff off of there. I don't know. Pardon me. Maybe I should Google it. Plant my own cotton and make my own cotton, right? Then I could crochet with it. Excuse me, sounds like way too much work to me. But anyway, that's the cotton. And we did buy the sugar cane, the cane syrup, which I'm going to tell you, I was really 110% surprised. This stuff comes, it's brown, like maple syrup looking. And I was really not expecting that. I thought it was going to be clear because sugar on your, eventually this processes into molasses from this form that it is in. This is what we bought. It says LJW Paul, and we did try it this morning, but it comes from this form, goes to the stalk, through the grinding thing, the smushing thing, to the cooking down thing, and it cooks down for a long time, and they separate out all the gook, and then they bottle this. And if you cooked it more, my understanding is that it goes into molasses and then into the crystals that you end up with on your table. On your table, they're white. But raw sugar is brown. But in my brain, I'm only thinking this syrup would be white because sugar on my table is white. But I just realized raw sugar, if you have raw sugar, it's unbleached and it is brown. But I was really shocked to see that this was going to be, that this was brown, and I almost didn't see it in the store because I was looking for brown syrup. And I guess you can use it just like you would molasses or except it's thinner. It's thinner than maple syrup. But we did have French toast. I'll put a picture of Roy's wonderful breakfast, French toast with some leftover scrambled eggs, and we used this syrup. It reminds you of maple syrup, except not mapley. I don't know if I really liked it. I did eat it. Roy ate it, and he was the same way. He's like, I don't know if I really like it. Would I put it in my coffee? I might try that tomorrow morning. But I will say, I don't know if it's the medication or if it was the syrup or what, but I got an upset stomach after eating breakfast this morning. And like I said, I don't know if it was the syrup or the sinus medication I'm taking to, you know, after a few days. Maybe that's getting to my stomach. I don't know. I feel good now. Still a little stuffy. A little bit of a cough still. But the upset stomach has gone away. So that's a good news. And I hope it wasn't from this. We did pay, I will tell you, we paid $12 for this bottle. But this is like handmade, processed. I think, you know, they don't show it going into the bottle. But everything was supposed to be done, from what I understand, there on the farm. Just the way they would have done it back in somewhere between the 1900 and 1950. Without really the use of electricity or much machinery. So that was pretty interesting, and breakfast was good. Roy cooked, I cleaned up, and then we went to the store to get football stuff. And then I did my nails, and we're halfway done. And now I'm going to sit down and crochet. And I'm going to crochet out here. I have a big picnic table, you know, picnic table space. So I'm going to work on my bumblebee. I have it out. I have not touched it yet. I just set it out and got it ready, because I know I can't chat with you and do the bumblebee all at the same time. I don't have enough brain power for that. Not like Lynanne that can crochet and talk to you at the same time. I wish I could, but I end up making mistakes. During my live on Wednesday, our live on Wednesday, the Boggy Creek live, I started off on the second stitch. I made a mistake, and you know, I have to keep track of the numbers, and so that's the most important thing. So I'm just mindlessly crocheting and not paying attention to what I'm crocheting while she's showing blankets, particularly when she's, you know, she opens the card and it says I have 6 blankets. Okay, I'm just writing a 6 down and I'm not checking them off. And so I'm crocheting and trying to follow the chat and, you know, answer questions and do whatever. I did 2 rounds only on my Christmas blanket, the name of June from Juan's tutorial. And in 2 rounds, like the second or third stitch, I made a mistake, and the next day I went back to work on it again. Or no, later that evening I went back to work on it after and finished the round that I was on, and found out that I made a mistake on like the second stitch, and I had to rip it all out. And I'm like, huh. So I did get that put back together and do some more work on it. Found out there was another mistake, is to do that again. But it's good now. It's good to go, and it's in timeout because I'm tired of fixing it. And it's a great opportunity to work on this blanket. If you've watched Billie's video, her last video, I think she put it up Friday evening, she is also making the sweater that I am making. I said I'm making this sweater for my granddaughter. She said, oh, I think I'll make that sweater too. It's really pretty. And like, she's halfway done. I haven't finished one sleeve yet. I'm like, oh gosh, I should work on that sweater. But I'm going to work on this blanket because it is a good time for that. And I did work on my luck of the draw, so I want to show you that because it actually has progress that is good. I didn't make a mistake and have to rip it out 2 times. I like to be a no frog zone, but sometimes you have to frog. So this week my color was red, and I'm doing this in the cabin colors at Boggy Creek. This is Luck of the Draw 13 Boggy style, which means it's only a 10-week instead of a 20-week crochet along. You use 5 colors plus a base if you do it that way. And normally you would use, I think, 8 colors and a base. So my base color this time is this, I love this yarn in the Candy Stick Stash because it has all of the cabin colors in there, plus some. They're jewel tones, really pops, really loving it. So the first week I was green, then I was cream. I added the cream. It's not one of the cabin colors, but it did need to be, I needed something to get a 5th color. So I added the cream because it goes with everything. Then I had yellow, and now this week I have red. And I'm going to show it to you sideways so you can see all the colors together. I think it is looking really nice. I really am loving the colors. And this is Mama Swift. She does Luck of the Draw. She hosts it. It comes out on Thursdays at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the next week's draw color. Go to her channel. You can catch up. It's real easy to catch up because you don't do that much every week. And as long as you're not, you know, making mistakes all the time like I have been lately. My nail just broke. Great. So as long as you're not making mistakes every week like I have been doing on most of my crochet lately, I think it's foggy brain from medications. You can get it done really rapidly, and that is the Sweet Rose of Kisses. So her Sweet Marshmallow Kiss Blanket is a square, and this is the variation that just goes back and forth row by row. It's a lovely, lovely pattern. I just really enjoy it. The Sweet Rose of Kisses is in the playlist. No, the Sweet Marshmallow Kiss is in the playlist, the Boggy Creek playlist, attached in all of my videos. So feel free to use that. And if you want the one like I'm doing in the rose, the Sweet Rose of Kisses, I don't think there is yet a tutorial on that. But I think if you contact Trisha, Mama Swift, her channel is listed in my description box too. If you contact her, she will give you the written pattern on how to make this into this way. If there is the Rose of Kisses it should be is out. If that tutorial is out yet, I think Jaxie was making it. It should be, if it's done, I think it's already in the playlist. I can't really remember because I have the written pattern and I do watch tutorials. So either way, I'm not sure, but we'll get it together one way or the other. You can get a hold of that if you want to do that. It's not too late to catch up because really doesn't take that long to do each row if you're going row by row specifically. And it's fun. And she does a draw, and she has a Facebook page, and she has a messenger chat, and it gets a lot of the community together and involved, and you know, you make friends, and it's fun. So check that out if you haven't already. And so that is the one thing that turned out good today. Check out Billie with the Crafty Floridian. I want to close this bag up. It has this is in a sealed bag. Oh, all my other colors are Big Twist in the 1 pound. You know, that big, like 1 pound size. Value, whatever. And the cabin colors are red, green, yellow, and blue. And then, like I said, I added the cream for the 5th color. And that, I love this yarn. It's just a fabulous yarn. And I think it just makes it pop, don't you? I just think it's the perfect thing. So thank you so much to my subscriber that told me to get that yarn. It is definitely 100% perfect. This pattern, my Bumblebee, this is a graph that goes with a bunch of other graphs to make a graphgan. This is the graph that I am working on right now. I'm just going to start row 11. And these were by Annette, Tangled in Yarn. I believe she is listed in the description box as well. She has tutorials, and so does this is Annette, Tatiana's Blankets, I believe is her channel. And they did a bunch of graphs. They made up a bunch of graphs for Boggy Creek. full-size blankets, or mine, which is like mine, which is going to be little squares sewed together, because I'm not that good at crafts, so I wanted to practice with little squares. Do an 10-inch square easier than a 40 by 40 blanket. But maybe I'm wrong, because if you do a 40 by 40 blanket, you know, you do it in a corner to corner style. If you're doing a 40 by 40 blanket, maybe you have big, huge areas where you don't have to change bobbins. I don't know. But I think they both have tutorials, and if you email the Boggy Blanket Brigade at gmail.com and you want the graph patterns, Jaxie will be glad to give them to you. So that's that. What is Boggy Creek? It is a camp for chronically ill children that we raise blankets for. They get to take them home as their as a souvenir. The camp is free. It has a complete medical facility, and they do wonderful, wonderful things there. There are some videos listed, and they make like a weekly video, I think, to show things that are going off in camp. I think they have a weekly video now going up every week of camp. So I think that's catching you up on all of my crochet. Our day at the farm and what we saw there. Well, it's not all of my crochet, but it's all the crochet that I did not work on my sweater, but I do need to. I did work on the luck of the draw, and now I'm going to work on this. And I have not worked on the wand blanket from my spring crochet along. I'm at a point where I need to come up with some more stitches to make the blanket bigger. I'm at the end of his tutorial, but since I'm using a one weight yarn, my blanket is not big enough to even be considered a lapgan. So it's on hold until I have more brain power, to be quite honest. That's where that's sitting. So I want to, I think I have the Nana June blanket. Yeah, I think I have another blanket, another thing that's like brainless crochet, but it obviously isn't too brainless because I'm not getting it figured out very well. So I have two brainless crochet projects, which would be the Rose of Kisses. You can just do that without really having to think a whole lot about it. And the Nana June, the pattern is beautiful, and it's easy to follow, easy to remember, easy to mess up, apparently, because I've done it twice and two downs of crocheting on it. So, but it frogs easy as well. Well, that a lot depends on the yarn you use. Oh, I did want to ask you guys, if you have watched Lynanne's channel, she was talking about Game of Wool. Have you guys watched it? It's on YouTube, but it's filmed on PBS, I think, PBS Britain. They call it Channel 4. I don't know. And it is like Blown Away. It's a reality show. If you watch the stained glass or the glass blowing shows called Blown Away, or the Bake Off shows, the Great British Bake Off, that kind of thing, where they're competing to make something. Well, these people are competing to knit and do some crochet as well. There's been 2 episodes. I think they come out on Sunday evening, so there might be another one tonight, or YouTube maybe tomorrow morning. I don't know. The first 2 weeks I really enjoyed. If you watch Lynanne, there's some controversy just blowing up all over YouTube. I don't know. Yeah, social media is all over, I guess, over crazy stuff. But if you just watch the show for the content without all the social media stuff going on, I really enjoyed it. I found it there's a lot of creativity, a lot of talent. I'm not much of a knitter, so I mean, I have knitted some things, but I still don't know what a garter stitch is. You know what I mean? People say, oh, Lynette, that's a garter stitch. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's when you knit one side and purl the other side. I'm not sure. The knit makes the V's, the purl makes the bumps. That's my knit knowledge. I really don't know how to cast on. I do a chain stitch and then put the back loops on my hook. I mean, on my needle. I know it's a cheat, but that's how I can do it. So I watched those 2 episodes, knowing that there's all this controversy over Fair Isle, which if you want to get into the controversy, check it out. But I'm not getting into that. I don't care. Not enough to make it like worth talking about. I'm not a purist. Obviously, I crochet my chains to cast on. So don't come at me. It gets me started. And anyway, after I watched the 2 episodes on YouTube, I had in the stream came up the 2 judges. They're older ladies that are knitters. They were taught knitting in school. They're in Scotland, and I believe these ladies are from Scotland. They call it the British game of whatever, but they're in Scotland. Scotland, part of Britain. I don't know. I'm really bad at geography. I don't keep up with any of that stuff. Who belongs to who, I don't know. Anyway, they're in Scotland, which is gorgeous, by the way. They show some of the countryside, and it's like, oh gosh, I want to see that. And the challenges have been interesting. Some really cool ideas have come up. But these 2 ladies were taught to knit as part of grade school. They were taught to knit. And they did a video, and maybe they have more than one, I don't know, but I just saw this one that came up in the stream, and the like what to watch next stuff. And it was the 2 of them chatting, not even about the show, but just the 2 of them chatting about knitting. And they said some of the coolest things. They both, even though they didn't, like, they don't know each other prior, they do know each other prior to the show, but they don't, like, they didn't grow up together. They didn't learn to knit together, is my understanding. Do I have fuzz in my, I do. These trees, this was coming out of the trees. Anyway, they take their knitting, they take one knitting needle, they use a long needle, even if they don't need a long needle, and they put it under their arm like this. Can you see that? And then they take the other needle. Let's just pretend. I do have needles here, but not out here. And they knit like this, and this needle is long, so it's sticking way out where they can reach it. Like, it's sticking out to like here. But they just hold it under their arm. They're not squeezing it together. It's just the weight of their arm holds it there. And then they like wrap with this hand and do whatever with this hand. But they're out here in front because they're using these long needles so that they can work in front of themselves, but they don't have to hold this and manage to do all that stuff with their fingers. Oh, excuse me. And that's how they were taught to knit. And I thought, well, that might be helpful for those of us that are fumbling. They also said, they talked about tension. And they take their yarn, let me just grab a little ball of yarn here. Now, when I crochet, I mean, tension is tension regardless. When I crochet, I take my yarn and I put it like this. So when I have my little thing, slip knot on there, this goes under here, and I crochet with it like this, and then wrap and pull, wrap and pull, wrap and pull. This yarn slides between these fingers. It doesn't really, it used to be that I held it because I was trying to control the yarn better by holding it. Now it just slides. And I am good enough now that I just let it slide, and I put it that way, and You know, I don't really use it to hold the tension or anything like that. It just let it slide. But sometimes my rings get stuck on it. They don't do that. They just let it droop in their hand like this. And they don't use any fingers or anything to hold it. And I don't know if I could crochet like that. I mean, honestly, even though it just slides through my fingers, it does give it a little bit of drag. Let me take these rings off for a minute. It does give it a little bit of drag through my fingers. And to not give it the drag, I don't think that I couldn't, like, I think I need that for the tension itself. I don't know that I can make a decent looking stitch with the yarn just flowing over my finger without any tension to it at all. It would take a great deal of practice to get it to where I could just like use these two fingers and make a decent looking stitch, but it's way bigger. Way bigger. The stitches get way bigger, not as uniform, not nearly as nice looking for me, but I haven't practiced with it for 40 years either. So what do you guys do? I found it very interesting to listen to those two women talk about, you know, how they knit and how they hold their yarn. And they even talked about a little bit the tension in winding the ball. Like, don't make it tight, you know, because you don't want to stretch the yarn. So when you're unhanking, if you're, you know, winding your cake or whatever, you want to make sure it's not tight, so as you don't stretch out your wool. Of course, they're working with wool, and you know I don't do that. But acrylic stretches a little too, so, you know, I mean, cotton you wouldn't get much stretch out of, but some, I'm sure. Anyway, I thought that was very interesting, so you might want to look up those ladies and see what they have to say. I found them very interesting to listen to about their craft and how it works. And I got tired and I went to bed. But I want to look for more videos from them, because even though they're knitters and not crocheters, I found what they talked about as far as the tension to be very interesting. And I since then have started like really concentrating on making sure that I'm not holding my yarn tight, but I can't just let it droop over the one finger. It's just not working for me. I end up with like the stitches lose their definition, but that's fine. I mean, you don't have to do it that way, but the looser I find, the looser I crochet, the softer my blankets are, the softer my garment, whatever it is. The looser I crochet, the softer, regardless of the size of the hook. So I'm just kind of trying to work that into how I crochet, the things that they said. So sorry. Oh, let me get a drink here. Sorry about that. Mucinex is good, but it ain't perfect. So that's what I have for you today. I hope you got something interesting out of this, or found something interesting out of it. I will show you my progress again on the bee blanket, or the bee square. Hopefully I can get a lot of it done today. That would be awesome. I get a little bit faster every time I work on it. So we'll see how that goes, and I'll let you know in the next video. So thanks for watching, liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, all of those things. And I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.